Hello everyone, and welcome to my universe. Feel sick, unfortunately. I think my throat is probably a bit worse than yesterday even. But besides that, I don't know, it's getting better slowly but surely. Hopefully by next week I'll feel like I can talk normally again. that would be pretty great. God, being sick is kind of terrible though. Hold on. Man, I coughed right before hitting the transition button, but body says I need to do it again. Give me just one moment here. Okay. So yes, I am hopeful that it'll go away soon. At the very least, I feel like I can actually do stuff, so maybe I'll actually be able to draw this week. That'd be good. That'd be good too. Anyway, speaking of drawing, I've been looking at this picture for a bit, and I just don't like it. I could keep trying to polish it, but I've said before that if you don't feel it in the beginning, polishing it is not going to make it any better. It's just not. So I think at this point it's time for me to stop coping and fix it. I don't think I have to completely start over. I don't quite like her face. I think I can do... everything can be better, basically. I just don't like where it's going. So, yeah, I'm gonna stop pretending like everything's okay. I'm gonna put all this into a group. And... I've got to hide it. So, it's something I've been thinking about for a while, actually. But I didn't really know what to do. I thought for a while that, you know, maybe if I just fixed a few things, maybe as I refined certain parts, it would give me some ideas for what to do for everything else. That does happen sometimes, but, no, it wasn't happening. I just don't think the idea is workable. So, ultimately, that means it's time to do something else. Because, yeah, you know what, I'll spend a little bit of time talking about the things that I think are going wrong. So, to an extent, I think I'm trying too hard. I think that's a good way to put it, because I have been wanting to experiment with some of this more extreme perspective. I think it's very fun. But you gotta be careful with it, and I think its usage has to be deliberate, and you can only do certain types of poses with it, and I don't think the squat that I've been going for is one of those poses that you can do from top down with fisheye perspective. This isn't quite fisheye, but close enough. Yeah, no, I don't think it's any good. I just don't think that kind of pose works. And I've been trying to kind of shoehorn some of that stuff in when I don't think it's appropriate. As though, you know, just drawing normal stuff is somehow not good enough. Art is weird. Anyway, so, just the general idea I don't think is working. And I think it's, you know, especially noticeable in the legs. No, it's definitely not. I actually think this arm... but the bat is okay. I could probably keep that if I just did a waist-up thing, but I think I have a better idea. And then the second thing, I'm just not really sure if I like the face. Like, I don't think it's drawn badly or anything, but I just don't really think it captures Nitya's energy. Like, the last two phase ones that I did of Malice and BB. Malice especially. That still keeps Malice's energy. It just amps it up to ridiculous levels. But it's still very her. BB a little bit less so. I think, again, I was trying a little bit too hard. But I still kind of feel it. I know if I ever wanted to go back and kind of fix certain things of it, I already know what I would do. But, you know, not relevant now because I don't plan to. So... But here, Nitty just kind of has this very upbeat and kind of more fun-loving personality. Hello there, Nora. Welcome back. And I just don't think this expression is working for it. I think I know what I want to do to fix it, but it's going to have me redrawing her eyes. Do I love hugs? Not especially, no. But yeah, so I might have to go redraw her eyes, and with some of the ideas that I have for how I want to fix the body, I might have to rotate her head a little bit, so, you know, certain parts of that might just have to be redrawn entirely, but I'm gonna try to salvage as much of the face as I can. I do like her mouth, though. I think the mouth works. I think this is okay. But, something in the eyes, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's capturing Nitya's personality very well. So, I've actually been thinking about this for a while, because I don't know. There's been times where I've kind of been coping and telling myself, nah, I think I can make this work. I think this is okay, and it's absolutely pure cope. But the brain can trick you into that sometimes. Because because in this case, you know, for me, I worked really hard on trying to get all this to work. So my brain was just like, no, it's fine. You can do it. Keep going. But no, but even off stream, I think another reason that I was trying to cope and try to keep all of this in there, even though I just don't really like the way it's going. Let me make my mouse a bit bigger there. There we go. Even though I just really don't think it was working, was just because I didn't know what else to do. That does happen sometimes. I didn't have any particular ideas for what I should do instead. And that was one of the things that just really got me thinking, maybe I can't stream every day anymore. Maybe I do need space to think about these things, because I was feeling just so overwhelmed with everything that I just didn't really have the space to calm down, you know, write out my thoughts, and actually try to figure out things that I wanted to do. I had to be on it. I had to know exactly what I was going to do the next day. And I was slightly dying because of it. So, but fortunately, since I have been taking it a little easier, I actually do have ideas now. So I'm going to try some of them. I'm going to keep the old version. And I probably do need to keep the head about there. I'm probably going to have to change the size of the canvas and a bunch of other stuff in order to make this work. But we're going to keep this just so I have access to the colors I used. Because I do like the colors. I think the colors look good. And I don't think I need to change anything there. I might even plop some more of this yellow in various places, but we shall see. The yellow in her eyes, that is. I still don't think those eyes are looking very good. It's okay. We'll worry about the face later. Let's try to get the body going. And I'm going to use roughly the same idea that I was doing for, you know, the other ones. And what I plan to do for all of the other members of Saga once I get around to drawing them. And I'm going to do a waist-up drawing. So it's no longer going to be top-down. So that's why I said I'm probably going to have to adjust the angle of the face. But we're going to have a little bit more fun with that baseball bat, because I think it's perfect. I'm just thinking about how to approach this. Okay. Let's do it like this. Okay. Oh, I was a little bit sad when he kind of got to start over, but you know what? It's for the best. It's all good. Because if I finish that, I was just going to look at it at the end and be like, I hate it. I don't want to post this. So, let's make something I can actually like. Sounds good to me. Okay. So, yeah, this is almost certainly going to require a head angle change, but don't worry about it. We're going to leave the head awkwardly in the wrong position for a little while, and it's going to make it that much better once I can finally fix it. Okay. Let's see. It's gonna be the top. And what I want to try to do. I've been thinking about how to draw shoulders lately. Anyway, let me describe what I want to do first. This is going to be totally wrong for a bit. It's not following the design yet. That's okay. I'll worry about that later. But what I want to try to do is I want her to be holding the bat over her shoulder, like she's about to swing it at your face. And that's what I want to go for. But anywho, like I said, I've been thinking about how to draw shoulders lately, since I do kind of struggle with shoulders and arms, and I observed through many days of just staring at people. I hope they weren't too creeped out, because some of them were actual people. That part of my issue was that I always, wanted to draw shoulders kind of like this. They go down from the neck and then out. But what they actually do is they go down from the neck like this, and then they connect to the arms, which do something like this. And that's how they get shoulder shapes. Like, this doesn't really look right, but that's okay. That's kind of the shapes that I've been observing when I look at people. It goes down, and then you get an arm. And that kind of does things, although... Let me see. Yeah, her arm on this side is actually going to be raised, so that muscle coming out of your neck there is going to be up. Okay, so it's going to be kind of like that. I'll just go ahead and start doodling the arm. God, it feels so weird to be at this stage with a basically finished face, even if I do plan to redraw a lot of it. So awkward, man. Okay, so I'm pantomiming holding a baseball bat here, just so I can get an idea of where the arms are going. So we're gonna have this one. I'll just do it in black right now. It's gonna kind of come across her chest here. The under. Kind of on top of the middle of her chest there. Let's see. Okay, it does look like I will have... Well, I can't really raise the head because I need room for the bat to go back there. It's okay. I kind of knew that I might have to change the size of the canvas. So I'll just start plopping stuff in there for now. So there's going to be one hand here. And the hands do come together. Okay, so this side, it does not go up. It kind of goes a little bit lower, actually, from what I can see. I might be holding the bat wrong, so you know what? Let's go look up a real reference. Let's see here. I don't really need those ones anymore. Swinging a baseball bat. Here we go. What does Google say? Ah, perfect. People that can actually play baseball. Yeah, so I'm doing it right. So yeah, it goes slightly lower. And then it's the forearm that goes really, really high up. This arm is probably too low, but that's okay. This is all doodles for now. I get the feeling I'm probably going to be splitting this up into multiple layers here. You know what? cold. I get my blanket back on me. Gotta be cozy. There we go. Okay, so the arm goes slightly down. We're not gonna worry about how it covers up this right now. And then it kind of comes, very much straight up here. And I guess I have decided that the hands are gonna be over here. And you know what? That's fine by me. Okay, and then the other hand, actually quite straight across. It doesn't go that far down as I have it. Goes out like this. Only slightly higher, which checks out with everything else I've drawn. And then they'll kind of meet together over there. So there we go. That's kind of how that's gonna look. I'm just gonna, rather than redraw it, I'm gonna take my old bat layer. I'm gonna copy it. Oops. And I'm gonna paste it up here. There we go. I put this hand on the wrong side. Okay. Let's just fix that now. This hand goes over here. Oh god. Okay, hold on. Gotta cough more. Oh man. God. I hate being sick. So there we go. And you know what? I do think I want to start splitting these out. I'm just gonna do that. You know what? Let's just do this one like this. Okay, so that'll be messy. That's fine. Everything's gotta be messy for a bit. Okay, and then you will be arm, probably. Okay, no, I have the arm hidden. There we go. This is gonna be a stretched arm. And then over here, we're gonna have... oops, no, we don't need to edit this selection. It's okay. Okay. And then this one will be a hand. No. Selected a different layer for me. Man, I am just super out of it today. I'm surprised. I slept pretty well last night, actually. But then again, unlike yesterday, I did not sleep in until like an hour before stream, like I did. Yeah. Today I got up at the usual time. Okay, well, anyway. Gotta be the top hand. I'll put them on top of the arms, and then we'll get the bottom hand. I'll go ahead and separate that right now. And this is gonna be the bottom hand. Okay. So there we go. She's just gonna be swinging the bat instead. So... yeah, man. Okay. Still just thinking about how I want to go about this. Does she have any conveniently placed clothing to help me figure out perspective here? It does not look like it. Okay. You know what? That's fine. I think I'm gonna go center things. This is gonna totally mess up the old stuff, but that's fine. I doubt I will pick that up again. I'm gonna go and put this back over here, just in case I decide I want it, and I don't want to, if I ever feel the need to crop the image, I don't want it to get totally sucked in. So I'm gonna take it out of the my entire thing category here, and we're gonna call it good. And then, like the rest of the images, she's gonna be coming out of a shape. I'll probably use the nice little cute crocodile. She has this adorable little cubey, vaguely Minecraft-esque crocodile in her end screen that I think is super adorable, and I think I would like to use that. I tried to use it in my original idea, but it just didn't look very good. But I think it'll look great here, since I only intend to draw her from roughly the waist up. I might still put her crocodile tail in here, though. You know, we'll see how I feel about that. Well, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Okay. So yeah, let's, I want to start feeling out the center of her body here. Right now, I'm kind of pretending like she has a shirt collar like this. Very common for how I operate, but it's currently not pointing the right direction. It looks very front-facing here. It should be pointing a little bit further to the left there. I want her body to be kind of facing to the left. But that is basically why I'm drawing it like that for now, because it does kind of help me feel out where the center line of her body is. And, you know, I could just draw a center line, but I actually have a lot of trouble just doing that. These are things I've been thinking about lately, and you know what? I'm going to let myself get distracted. A lot of the time I just kind of want to work on the picture, but now, today, I kind of want to blab about art, so we'll go do that. Anyway, one recommendation. I'm gonna go make a new doodles layer. Okay. One recommendation that I see for construction that a lot of people suggest is essentially Loomis method, where you kind of draw a circle, and then you put a line in it, and you kind of divide it up like a ball. Let's just pretend like I can draw circles, don't worry about it. And then you connect the rest of the pieces with a jawline, and it gives you some idea of roughly where things should be placed, right? Just a very, very rough idea. So, you know, something like this. And then you can put hair, everything. Hairline's probably somewhere around here. And you can plop in nice little bangs, and you can do all sorts of things, and it's all very interesting. I have never been able to draw like that. I've tried a few times. Here, I can try to draw it a little bit more seriously. But, yeah, you know, let me... For whatever reason, let's, we'll do a fairly simple turn here. No, that one's a little too complicated. I want to keep it easy. Yeah, maybe right about there. But for whatever reason, the results I get from doing it like this just do not please me. So I got a jaw there, and go ahead and on a separate layer start putting in features. I'll just sketch them in. This is just a generic anime girl for practice. And we'll probably have like a nose or something there. The mouth would go somewhere down here. But if I were to line this, so reduce the opacity here and plop in some line art, at least as best I can, it's gonna look totally wrong. My proportions are still gonna be awful. This is where I, still have to liquefy things and do all that good stuff, and this is very quick. So it makes sense that it's not totally right. But, like... It just doesn't work for me. And even when I take my time, and actually take the time to kind of straighten things out and all that, it just doesn't. So, what I just always end up doing instead is, I just, I'll still go ahead and do it in black. I just kind of carve out a silhouette. I make something that looks vaguely head-like to me. I guess this one's looking down. That's fine. And this just gets the result so much easier for me. Like, there we go. It's like already there. And then I can just, I want to do it in white. I can just, plop in various facial features. I think her nose is probably right about here. Mouth's going to be somewhere around here. I can see the top of her eyes out there. And like, I still need to adjust the eyes a little bit. I pretty much always do. But this already looks way more face-like in less time than I spent on the other one. So that's why I keep doing things like this. The problem is that, when I get my proportions wrong, and I pretty much always do, you can see here I drew the eye too low. I end up having to take a lot of time to adjust things and put them back in the right place. And I'm not a fan. I would kind of like to be able to just more correctly get things from the get-go. So this way I don't have to spend a bunch of time flailing and figuring those things out. Art is hard, basically. So I just haven't been able to find a good way to do that. A way that works for me. So it's like I've tried some things. For people that have been watching my speed paints for a while, what I was attempting to do was draw a box where the eyes were going to go. And then kind of draw them in. But this ended up not working very well. It did for a while, especially if I was just drawing forward-facing faces. But it's easy to draw forward-facing faces. It totally collapsed the second I tried to draw anything a little bit different. So let's see, let's do this one in white. So when I tried to draw from an angle, for example, I'd get my box. I'd draw the underside parts. This way I could see the perspective. Kind of draw it in the features a little bit. And I mean, it's a little bit better than what I currently do, but not much. Because then I can put in the nose. And the rest of the jawline, but it still just never looked quite right. I don't think I actually like starting with the eyes. But this is how I'm trying to figure out how I like to do things. And this is how I learned that I don't think I like starting with the eyes. I think I like starting with the nose. So I kind of have to start with the face shape, figure out where to put the nose. Even if it's just a dot, I don't actually have to draw a full head or anything. I can just get the general gist of what I'm trying to do. I'll let this one turn up. I kind of carve a jawline out of that. And then I can plop in a nose, and that is enough to let me understand where everything else should go. Very, very roughly. But again, it requires extensive reconstruction. So this is where I still got some stuff to figure out. But I feel like if I can get just slightly better construction, where I'm not just constantly having to kind of feel my way through things and work off intuition, I think I'll have a slightly better time. I don't think it's terrible to have a degree of, to work off intuition to a degree. But I do think it slows me down. Anyway, guess I'll get back to drawing here. And I think I'll just keep the back arm. Well, no, I think I'd actually kind of like... Ooh, actually that's a point. With the way that I had things separated here, I can put the bat on top here. So that this way, I can just have her arm coming down there. There you go. I hope you find me rambling about my current struggles interesting. At least they can be amusing. I do not have this bat far enough away from her. Because this arm is a bit too short. Maybe I do. Looking at my bat swinging reference again, and I think I actually just gotta bend this one a little bit more. Because yeah, you get a lot of the power from your swing, from straightening your arms, if I'm recalling the physics of the baseball swing correctly. I would not call myself an expert in this area. Oh god. I had the audacity to laugh. And thus, all the phlegm came back into my throat. Okay. Okay, so I want to look at the angle of his shoulder a little bit. It feels like the angle of the shoulder into the arm is nearly straight. So I probably just don't have the... Okay, I think I'm starting to understand. So I need the bat to be a bit further away. So things are gonna look weird for a little bit. It's like, on my reference, the bat actually doesn't go behind his head at all. Hello, hello to you, Sir Sprout. Welcome back. I'm learning how baseball bats work. It's fascinating. Quite. It's okay. I'm doing a bit better. Hello there, Alkavi. Welcome, and yes, I think Nudie's pretty great. I'm just figuring out how baseball swings work. Truly, you do not know anything until you try to draw it. Yes, it is. I have decided that I just I didn't like where this picture was going. So, for a reference for people that haven't been watching for a bit, let me hide this. This is kind of what I was trying to do before. Just pretend like her head are on her shoulders. I wanted to do kind of an extreme perspective image, and it wasn't working. So, I'm trying something else. Let's go bring this back. We're just gonna do waist up. Yes. Yep, always is. But you know it's for the best. I just did not like where it was going. Did not. So, you know, that's what it's time to draw something new. I'm probably gonna have to redraw parts of her face, because there are certain parts of her face I think are pretty good. I like the mouth, I like her hair. I don't quite like the eyes. Something about it's not working for me. So, I'm probably gonna have to redraw large amounts of the face too. But you know, it's okay. It's better than trying to work on a picture that I don't like. Because I do think that at a certain point, what you see in the beginning is going to be how it looks at the end. It's just, the refinement will not change the energy and general feeling of the picture at all. So, if I just kept refining the thing that I just really did not like, I was going to end with a final product I just really did not like. So there you go. That's why we're just going to do something else. And you know, that's okay. You can start over at any point. It's all good. But if it's not working, it's not working. No amount of forcing it's going to make it work. So, gotta do something else. And that brings me to just swinging the baseball bat. And as always, you never really know what something looks like or how it works until you try to draw it. I am learning so much that I didn't know before. Oh, everything's wrong at this stage. Don't worry about it. So I'm just taking a look at things, and I get the feeling I'm gonna have to change the aspect ratio and just everything here. You know, nothing is right anymore. It's all good. So I'm just kind of digging into my reference images here, and I realized that I have the bat a bit too close to her head. So I'm actually gonna be scooching her body over a bit more. This arm I don't think moves, but this shoulder is gonna be turning a little bit more, and there's gonna be all sorts of shenanigans. Anyway, I'm gonna scooch things over now. So we're just gonna go scooch. Scooch. But yes, the big thing I realized was that she was holding it too close to her head. But that's if I want a proper baseball swing, so I might not actually go for that, because admittedly, this doesn't have the delinquent swinging a baseball bat at you energy. This is closer to an actual professional swing, which makes sense since I'm looking at a Major League Baseball player here. So... okay. I need a different reference. Let's get an anime delinquent swinging a baseball bat. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, that's the more of the right energy. Okay. Man, it's getting increasingly hard to find proper reference on, or proper stylized reference on Google now, because, oh man, the influx of AI images is very sad. And yeah, I don't mind referencing AI for stylistic advice, since it is kind of an awkward amalgamation of you know, images that it finds. But when it comes to actually referencing it for proportion and posing, terrible idea. Yeah, don't do it. Terrible, terrible idea. Okay. Okay. I guess that's one option, but then I don't get a lot of modern anime either. Like, Googling things reminded me of the existence of Metal Bat, from One Punch Man. So, he is like the embodiment of the right energy, so. Oh god. Unfortunate. I am of the general opinion that AI can be used for good, and it can do wonderful things, but it's currently not really being used for that, so, you know, life is hard. Yeah. I am hopeful. And like I said, I do think it can be used for good. I am not very much of a doomer about this, but it's certainly not for the time being. A lot of the time. The parts of the head are definitely going to have to change, but I'm going to try to keep as much of it as possible. But no, I do like it being closer to her head. I don't want it to be like right up against her neck. So we're going to have a very improper swing here. But you know, I think that fits the delinquent energy perfectly. Where exactly does it go, though? I need to make sure it has proper power, and when she's gonna swing it, like, in front of her face, it doesn't hit her in the back of the head, because that seems like it'd be very uncomfortable. So... maybe, like, right there? Let's see... this one should be on the bottom. There we go. And then... rotate this a bit more. And make it just a little bit bigger. How big is it compared to her? Like, I am definitely exaggerating the size, but I think that's okay here. I think I have it too thick at the top. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. Let's make it a little bit less thick at the top. I'm gonna break out the line tool here. Let's see, set to erase. And right here is where it starts to get thick. Come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That would do it. There we go. Let's make it a little bit thinner up top there. Yeah, there we go. And then, since, you know, this style forbids the use of curved lines, we go ahead and make the curve at the top like this instead. Up. Sneeze. God, I hope next week I'm not sick anymore. God, I swear, I've been having so much trouble shaking this illness. Life is hard. Bodies are the worst. I hate it. Glad I can at least stream again. Because, man, it completely knocked me off my feet last week. I was like, okay, I'll give myself, you know, like 3 days to recuperate, and that'll probably be enough. And then Tuesday rolled around, and I was dying. So, could not do my makeup streams. I was so sad. I did, like, basically nothing last week. It's awful. Okay, there we go. That looks a bit more proportionate. I'm gonna have to fix that, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Let's see here. Gonna make this part just a little thinner there, and don't mind the weird bullet holes. I assure you, they are fine. Control A. That selects everything. Yeah, Control A. You get your dots. Yeah, nice and easy. Alright, so let's start getting her arms in place here. Looking at her arm relative to her head here, I think this one actually might be short. Includes the canvas? I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, oh, I see. You don't mean everything. Control, click on the layer. So if I want, let's say her head. Oops. Control, click. It'll get you your dots. You just gotta click on the little picture. My head's covering it, but you know, the little layer preview, you control click on that, and it'll do the thing. Yeah. Alright, let's actually start getting the arms the right length here. I'm just trying to compare to the length of her head. Unfortunately, most of the time I do not actually base my arm length on the head. I base it on the length of the torso, which I am not drawing. So, yeah, it's very convenient. I don't use it that often. I do occasionally, especially for culling. Like if I draw something on that has to be on a layer above something, but I want it to be, you know, behind it in the drawing. So I don't know. It happens a lot with hair and stuff, or headbands. Yep, there's got to be no pelvis here, so that's why I can't do it. They are not. The forearm is a little bit shorter than the bicep. In most people. Or do I have that backwards? Is the bicep a little bit shorter? I think it's the bicep that's a little bit shorter. Don't mind my dyslexia. I get these things backwards all the time. But yes, one of them is a little bit shorter. But there we go. I think that's accurate. And, you know, that's why I say most of the time I compare the length of the arm to the length of the body. There's no body here for me to compare to. Because I'm only going to be going down to about, you know, her tummy. It's true. I mean, when I draw hands, for example, I generally only draw 2 finger joints. So it's all good. You can pretty much draw things however you want, to an extent. It's more about convincing people that you know what you're doing than it is actually having it right. The bat needs to be a little higher up here. There we go. And now I think I want to draw the rest of the torso. I kind of have to get the shoulder good, though, before I can do that. Alright, let's go back to baseball poses. It is solid enough for what I'm trying to do. Okay. So, the big thing that I observed while looking at these baseball players is that, the shoulder into the arm here. Right now I kind of have it, you know, going across and then down. It doesn't really do that. It's actually pretty much a straight line. I construct nothing. I just, I use my intuition, and I go from there. It's, It worked for me for a while, but I'm kind of getting to the point where it's not anymore, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it better. I just did like a whole rant on that, actually. Right before you showed up. Yeah, basically. So let's see. It goes a little further out. We're pretending like she has a torso here. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Then I observed that this actually went real close to straight up. And I'm not worried about these colors making no sense right now. It's all good. It's fine. All is well. But this is the kind of thing that I was noticing. Let's get that a little... Yeah. That should be okay. Let's put in the other arm. And we'll see if I can actually figure out the torso here. I don't know. Those arms feel really long now. To be fair, her shoulder feels very short. Okay. Let's see here. So, what I know will be happening We're not going to worry about the arm for a second. I'm going to kind of pull it out here, figure out where the armpit is roughly. It's somewhere around here. And then we're going to see like the side of her torso right here. And it's going to all come down. Let's see, the bottom of her chest is currently off screen, and it should not be, so let's make this canvas a little bit bigger. Height. Let's give myself another 1,000. Okay. That should give me enough space for at least a little while. And we'll see if I can get the parts of her body that I want there to that I want to be in there. So the kind of energy I want is oops. That. So right now her body is not arched correctly at all. There is no energy in this. This is I am gonna have to draw parts of her hips just for me to feel it out, and that's fine. Because I kind of want it to be like that. That does mean that the angle of her head's gonna have to change. I'm gonna try to avoid moving the head as much as possible. Okay. So, let's try to get the body doing what I want it to do. That's not gonna work. No, I gotta adjust the head a little bit now. Like I said, I'm trying to avoid changing the head as much as possible, but it has to be leaning back. It has to be. Oh no, not at all. See, this is why speculation is totally pointless. I don't think people will be able to understand what I'm trying to draw until I draw it. I do my best to try to explain, but no, there's a particular energy that I want, and energy is very, very particular. It does not follow sense-making. So it's not going to follow what happens in real life. It's just not. If I were to do what's happening in real life, this shoulder would be up in her chin, and this arm would be straight. The distinction between arm and shoulder would be gone, and there's just all kinds of things. But no, there's a particular energy that needs to happen in order for it to feel right. I use rectangles. It's the same basic idea. Sometimes I do wish I could sketch in a way that was just way easier for people to understand. It'd be really nice, but I don't, unfortunately. But, trust. Trust. No. This shoulder does need to be higher, though. In fact, we probably do see a little bit more of the side here. So that would bring the center a little more over there. Chest, probably like right here. Yeah, that seems about right. Belly button here somewhere. And then it'll start rising out into hips down there, which are going to go very much over here this way. This is way too thin for the moment. That's fine. Like I said, I'm kind of going into pure energy here. Alright, let's start getting the other arm in. I'm going to leave this one black for now. Okay, so this shoulder needs to be higher. It's going to be like all the way up there. Maybe I won't leave it black for now. Okay, well, we'll make it white for now. Color here doesn't really matter very much. But yeah, her head's kind of being pulled back a little bit, and that's why I said that for how a baseball swing actually works, this doesn't really make very much sense. I just wanted to make sure that I had a good feel for what the body actually does when you're swinging a baseball, but the delinquent energy is way more important than what actually happens. I'm not drawing a very realistic image here. So, something like that. And this shoulder needs to come up a little bit too, I think. You know what? I think I actually want this below the neck. We'll leave the neck layer up there a little bit. Nitty. She is my favorite in Saga. So I am happy to be drawing her. And that's another reason where I'm just like, man, I don't want to post a picture of her that I really dislike. Let's fix it. And then this is already going a little bit better, I think. It's way easier to understand. I want to make her shoulder a little bit more clear. This is not what happens with this pose, but this just makes way more sense. Okay, there we go. I think it's kind of starting to work now, and it's covering the right part of the chest that I think it should. Arms look about the right length. I don't know, that might still be a little bit short, but I think they're close. I did. I did. She's very cute. I can see why people like her. Okay. Let's finish getting pose energy down. Let me see. What's going on with those shoulders anyway? Okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. That's why she looks too cute. She definitely needs to be cute, but not that kind of cute. You gotta have power in the swing. Yeah. It's like, unfortunately, I just haven't had much time to watch stuff, and pretty much all my watching stuff has been in variants lately, but I have enjoyed what I've seen. Oh yeah, she rigged her own model. Or, Anya, do you mean? I wouldn't be surprised if she could too. This still looks very cute. And like the wrong kind of cute. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that I knew because she did rig her own model. The front layer. Yeah. Okay, so I see kind of what I was doing wrong there, because there's foreshortening happening. We see pretty much the full side of this arm, but this arm is going back because the bat is behind her head, whereas her shoulder is in front of her head. So this side actually needs to be a bit shorter. But yeah, Nitty's artistic capability is very strong. What she can do with 2D rigging and 3D is actually pretty insane. The technology in her debut is something else. Being able to combine 2D and 3D movement that seamlessly. Wild. Absolutely wild. Okay. Yeah, let's start getting the shoulders better now. You know, as always, arms are the bane of my existence. People complain about hands so much that I think people are sleeping on just how terrible arms are. I can also lift this arm up a little bit more if I want. Let's see. I'm just looking through some more references here. Ah, hello there, Trag. So far so good. I'm unfortunately quite sick. Doing better than I was last week though, so, you know, hopefully by next week it'll all be fine again. Bodies are just the worst. The absolute worst. And these microbes need to get their own source of energy. I do not appreciate them trying to eat me. It is very rude. They should go find somewhere else to live. Okay. Time for more perspective shenanigans. Thanks. I'm doing my best. It's okay. I kind of feel like I can actually do stuff again. So that's always really nice, because... Oh, man. I basically did not draw at all last week. Yesterday was the first time I drew in like a week, and I just feel so dead inside. But it's alright. I'm back, and hopefully I can do some stuff again. I always look forward to doing stuff. Yeah. Always take it. Okay. Let's attach her arm here. I think I have them in about the right spot. I'm sure that adding the rest of her features will make it a little bit easier for me to tell. Let's puff out her chest a little bit. We want her to be swinging hard here. She's going for it. Let me see, what did hips do as you start swinging? So the hits are probably not going to be in the final one, but knowing this will actually make it easier to draw. And yes, I was entirely correct. I'm glad. So, I had the feeling that for whatever reason, when you... Oh, did I... No, I have that drawn on the right layer. What are you talking about, Krita? Okay. Anyway, but when you start swinging, your hips kind of start stretching forward. So I want the belly button to actually be a little bit more over here. And, the legs will kind of come out this way. But yeah, your hips start moving forward. As always, you know, you never know what something really looks like until you try to draw it. And only then do you start to understand. Something like that. So there we go, I think. And then having the rest of her body turned really harshly that way, having the hips kind of coming back forward. She does not have hips this big, but we're just going to pretend right now it's okay. I just need certain shapes in order to help me figure it out. It's okay, I always exaggerate my proportions before I go back and fix them. Okay. So let's start getting some of these things in there. Okay. How do I want to handle this? Alright, let's actually start drawing some of her basic clothing features. I think now's a good time. Let's see. Well, honestly, I do think that there is something slightly wrong with being buffed. I think every artist will have slightly different proportions for things, and that's fine. But, just as a baseline. But, you know, the reason that it was made the way it was because that's the way, presumably, the creator wanted it. So, especially when I'm drawing VTubers, I actually do try to keep the kind of proportions that they wanted. There's only rare instances where I alter it drastically. Like, the best place I can think of is when I drew Crony. I could not make the legs as thin as they were in her model. Her artist worked some serious black magic to make that not look weird, and I couldn't do it. So, I had to make her legs a little thicker. And I think that was fine. But overall, it's like, especially when it comes to bust size, that's something that's always very deliberately picked. So I like to stay on model when I can. I do take some creative liberties, of course. Let's see, how does this sit on her shoulder? No, this needs to be higher. Because this needs to be on top of her arm here. But, okay. Because this needs to, like, roll up on top of this. There we go, that's better. And we don't see the center. Yeah. So much is heavily exaggerated so that this way I know what I'm doing. And I'll fix it later. Right now I need pose energy. So this is, you know, it's just one of those things. It's not going to be how the final drawing looks. And that's okay. Yeah. It's okay, you know, don't mind the finished head. I planned to do a different pose, but I don't like it, so I'm kind of redoing things from scratch here. And, so I'm at the stage where things are just pure energy and vibes again. So, capturing the correct energy in the pose is just way more important than accuracy right now. Right now, it's starting to get to the point where maybe I care a little bit about accuracy, but not very much. Okay, let's get the ribbon. So that's gonna come just slightly out from over here, and I'm gonna let that sucker fly. I don't care if a ribbon wouldn't do something like this. It looks way cooler. So that's what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Thus declares me, and then the other side's gonna be down there. But we don't see it, it's all good. But that's why I'm drawing this part. It's not important right now, but it helps the energy. Because it's going places. That ribbon, it doesn't know what it's doing. And that's great for just little flying pieces of cloth. I'm gonna keep it simple for now, that's fine. I'm gonna have to move that around a bit. That's okay. Alright. I am debating on how I want to handle certain things. So right now, I'm like, do I keep her tummy on the same layer as her top, or do I put it on a different one? I'd probably put it on a different one. I just did the top, like, entirely in, solid color there. So I'm gonna make this neck layer the body layer, and I'm just gonna fill that in with black for now. There we go. And I'll go ahead and erase roughly where her stomach is. Okay, there we go. So once again, I'm probably not going to be showing this much of her body. I'm pretty sure I'm going to cut it off, like, right here. Once I add the shape she's going to be coming out of, but I kind of need this for now, so I'll leave it there until I'm satisfied with pose and proportions and stuff. Okay, let's not fill it in with black, actually. I changed my mind. We're gonna fill it in with skin tone. There we go. That's a little bit easier to read. And then I can put her belly button back in there so this way I kind of know what's up. Okay. And I'll pretend like maybe I will end up drawing the skirt, but I probably won't. But I want it to be a little bit more skirt-like so that this way, you know, once again, I kind of have a better understanding of what's going on. There we go. That is sufficient for now. Okay, I want to roll the shape of her tummy a little bit better. So here's going to be the side. I think I will put that in black, though. I very much see things in terms of cubes. So, I've drawn this diagram a few times. But when you look at a square, you can see this is a cube. You see it from head on, so you don't see any other sides. But once you start seeing it from one way, you know, maybe you see a little bit of the bottom side. You'll never see the top if you see the bottom. So this does not make sense. This won't happen. At this point, it is no longer a cube. And then, if you see another side, it'll be kind of like that. So here, you know, we see a little bit of this side and a little bit of this side. And as a result, we will never see a little bit of this side. This is nonsense. This is no longer cube. So, I tend to picture things like that. So right now, in this particular pose, with the way things are, she's kind of leaning back. So on her stomach, we see this side and this side. That's why I drew this. So we'd see if her upper torso here, where her ribs are and stuff, was not connected into her stomach, we would see the bottom. And as a result, we don't see the top. And on the skirt, once again, with the way she's angled, we see a little bit less of this side. Let's go ahead and get rid of all that. We see a little bit less of this side because she's facing a little bit straighter. Oh, right, wrong layer. I should rename this. Let's do that. There we go. So we see a little bit less of that. I'm still keeping a little spot there for her legs. No particular reason. It just kind of helps me know where things are. It's obviously not going to be there in the final one because she's wearing a skirt, and odds are that part of her body's not going to be there anyway. But that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. So we see the underside here, and we see this side more from front, but I think we see a little tiny sliver of the top. And that's kind of how the pieces are connecting together. You just gotta build them like blocks. So if I think about it in those terms, we see maybe a little sliver of the top here. And then this, her stomach is going to be connecting these two pieces, her upper torso and her hips. So we'll see a little bit at the bottom here. I'll go ahead and draw it. You know, why not? Yeah, this does suggest that I probably have her chest not facing the right direction there. That's fine. So let's start getting that in there. It'll be a little something like that, I think. So I'll lift this up a bit. And right now, her stomach is quite long. Let's get the very bottom of the shirt in. I kind of want it to flutter a bit since it's got a little bit of looseness at the bottom there. I'm not going to draw in the little tatters just yet. It's not important at this stage. There we go. So that kind of a shape, and I do think it is a little small, and I just drew all that on the wrong layer. Let's fix that now before I cry later. No problem. I do not dare hide that layer. Let's hide this one to make sure I got everything. Okay, looks like we're good. I fear YouTube. I don't want YouTube to yell at me. I promise I'm not drawing anything weird. What? Okay, hold on. I got a cough. YouTube is scary. Alright. But yeah, I felt like I had that spot a little bit small. Unfortunately, her arm was attached to it, so I'm gonna kind of have to figure that out, but you know, it's all good. There. It wasn't so bad at all. Okay. Okay, that's making her stomach look a little bit less big as well. I'm pretty sure a lot of this pose is slightly nonsense, but that's fine. It has some pretty decent energy going for it here. I'll make this wrap around later, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go turn the arm back on, because I think this arm is one of the most important for energy, but right now she still seems very... what's the word? This does not look like a serious swing. Yes. Right now, this is more of a am I quite ugu pose, in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna go look at reference images again. Okay, I think I have some ideas. We gotta turn this a little bit more. And if I'm gonna do that, then I think I need to move the arms out a little bit again. So I'll push this guy over just a little bit, and from there, you know what, I should also fix the collar here. And just let this be more of her body. There we go. Okay, I just wanted to fix that right now. Alright, and then when I went to go look at more references, we pull this down, and this hand should be a little bit more underneath here, I think. Oh, the perspective's not that extreme, so maybe more like right there. And I'm gonna start coloring things too. Gotta start getting some of those more basic colors and shapes right. Which side is the thumb on there? The top. Yeah. I always like to explicitly double check that because my dyslexia draws hands backwards just all the time and it drives me nuts. So our thumb's gonna be coming out this side, it is on the top. The other one is gonna be covered up, so I don't have to worry about it. So on the bottom one, we get fingers more like this. Let's start getting some of the proper energy in here. We see a little bit of the bottom of this hand. And a little bit of the bottom of this one. Actually, probably a lot of the bottom of that one. There we go. Yeah, I mean, hands are pretty important. Unironically, it's like they're the two things for people, you know, unsure what to do to improve their art that you can do to just really make things go. Learn how to draw a good face, learn how to draw good hands. Those will be the strongest. They will lead to the biggest results. Okay, slightly less cute now. Gonna lift it up here, since I have a little bit more room now. The bend in that arm. No, pretty consistently, you have a bend in the arm. Yeah, I'm thinking about how the physics of a baseball swing works. And, basically, it seems like a lot of the power actually comes from straightening out your arm. Yeah. Because when I think about the swing in motion, your arms do get straight. So, indeed, if I want her to be winding up, I do have to have both arms bent. So I think this is correct. Okay. I'm going to think for just a moment here. Then I think I need to blow my nose. But let's see. I'm making sure that I'm using the right hand, and I think I am. Based on what I'm looking at, it looks like if you bat right-handed, which she is indeed holding the bat in the right hand, that you put the left hand on the bottom. So this appears to be correct. Let's see. I'm also wondering if I have to turn her head now. I've been kind of holding off, but let's see. Can I get... No, I really can't get the slight hint of a turn here. I'd have to really do some reconstructive surgery, and I'm scared. Okay, you know what? I can be scared. Hooray for digital! Duplicate group! Okay, now I have a group to mess around with all I want. Wonderful. So if things go awry here, I still have my other layer, and it's fine. Where's my nose? Where the hell did I put the nose? There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna move it over a little bit, and we're gonna start turning the head slightly. It's gonna be a very quick and dirty one. Very, very quick and dirty. So I'm not gonna go for perfection here. It's all gonna be very messy, and I see that I did the corners of her mouth on the head shadows layer, so that's okay. I can fix that separately. I'm not gonna mind that there's curved lines for now. Curved lines are forbidden in this style, but you know, it's fine for the time being, while I'm kind of figuring things out. So I'll turn the mouth that way a little bit. This all looks very silly, but you know what? One thing at a time. One thing at a time. I'll give myself that. Alright, because I have a selection. Okay, there we go. So let's turn the head very slightly. Now the eyes. So that's fine. The eyes are already different sizes. So I think all I really have to do is kind of scooch this guy over a little. And kind of push this guy over a little bit. Okay. And I'll do a little bit to fix the gaze. Let's still let her look somewhat at us. Okay. Now let's touch the hair up a little. just gonna move the bangs over a little bit. I'm not gonna touch a lot of things. There we go. Okay, so scooched her the turn of her head over just a little bit there. Just as a comparative before and after. There's the before, and then you can see it. There's a slight turn to it now. I probably have to do a little bit more, but I just don't want to spend too long on it. I just want to do the bare minimum to get what I need here. Okay. It actually doesn't take that much to turn a head. It's amazing. Things I learned from learning how to rig. Takes a lot less than you might think. Anyway, I gotta blow my nose here. I can't breathe. So give me just a sec here. Okay. Just, there we go. Clearing out the non-Euclidean space that is my sinus cavity. I swear, I don't know how so much stuff fits in there. Incredible. Truly the stuff of nightmares. Anyway, I can breathe again. Let's draw more. Alright, let's see. Here. Okay, for the sake of my sanity, I'm actually gonna move the collar back down under the arm. Okay. Just because I realized that I think it was throwing off my sense of where the center of her body is. Because I think the center of her body is actually, like, over here. So I should have the pointy part visible there. And that will affect where the ribbon goes to. And I'm hopeful that, you know, all these little things will eventually add up to having a little bit more power in that swing. And then unfortunately, what I think I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to mess with the pigtails. Where are they? Fortunately, I don't think I have that many highlights on them, if any at all. So if she's swiftly turning that way, you know, we're rolling this way, she's winding up. Which way does her hair swing? That's a good question. Let's see. I need to picture this in my head. This one goes this way, so has to be like this. And I'll probably add a little bit more movement to them. I'll let some kind of come in front of her face. This is gonna look weird for a while, but trust. Okay, and then I kind of have to do something similar to the rest of her hair here. And again, this is only my exploratory layer. I have one that I can do stuff with. I still have my copy if things go bad. But I think it's got to be kind of like that, where it's all kind of blowing in her face a little bit more. And actually, I need to completely turn this pigtail. So we're gonna mirror this horizontally, and I don't know what that is. Is that just a visual bug? It is. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna worry about it. Sometimes Krita does not like strokes. Okay, I can't do it like that. But I do need this part to be going the other way. Okay, let's make a better selection here. There we go. Something like that, just better. But there we go. That has such better energy. Holy cow. So that also tells me that I have the ribbon not doing things quite right. But there we go. I found why everything looked so rinky-dink and cutesy and had, like, 0 power. It was the hair! Sometimes the answers are where you least expect it. So there we go. We'll let the ribbon kind of fly that way too. You can't really see it, but that's okay. And I kind of want to do something similar with the little tattered parts on the bottom of her shirt there. I said that I wasn't going to draw them yet, but I think it is now time, because the energy is just all wrong, and it's not going to be right until I fix that. So let's see, we're gonna get like a big opening here. And it's gonna go kind of like this, and there we go. That's some energy right there. There's a bit more power in that. I am so gonna have to adjust the hair hardcore. I'm so sad. But you know what? It's okay. It's better than having a bad picture. Alright. I think I can get behind the energy there. Let's kind of finalize the composition a little bit, and I'll draw the shape she's going to be coming out of. Yeah, let's do that now. So, on her end screen, she has this absolutely adorable little crocodile friend, and I would like her to be coming out of that. It'll make more sense once I draw it. Let's see, I'll draw it up here for now, and I'm gonna draw it in hot pink. So that's why I can very clearly see what I'm doing. Okay. So let's see, adorable crocodile. No, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do instead. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do initially, but I didn't think it looked good. But now I think it will. So I'm gonna draw a little kind of semicircle here, and then its little head is gonna come out here, and it's gonna have little chompy teeth, and then it's gonna kind of wrap around, and this is gonna be its little tail. And I should go grab a reference of that, so this way I can kind of actually remember what it looks like. Let's see, do I have a good one here, or am I gonna have to go pull up a stream? Looks like I gotta pull up a stream. Alright, no problem. Let me see, do I just have... There it is, okay. Might hear some noises, don't worry about it. We're just gonna pretend like I paused it in time. Oh, I did pause it in time. Cool. Oh, she didn't bring up her... Okay, now there it is. I was like, she didn't bring up her end screen. I need it. Come on. Not for long enough. Okay, I gotta find a different stream. Clicked one at random. man, she has not been leaving it up for very long lately. Okay, let's go pick an old one. Maybe she has it up a little bit higher there. Or a little bit longer. There we go. That's the pose I needed. Okay, let me find a good frame. There we go. Okay, I can see it quite clearly now. I gotta cough again, sorry. Ah! Okay. That's alright, I got the picture I needed. So this currently looks like nothing, and that's fine. It'll look like something momentarily. I'm not muted, right? Okay, good, I unmuted. Couldn't tell for a second if I had remembered. Okay. So it's gonna kind of roll up. This is where its head is gonna be. And it's gonna have little feet coming out like this. It's all curled up and very adorable. There we go. Man. Okay, I think I have its snout just a little bit long there. So I'll cut that down a bit. This is where its eyes are gonna go. And it's gonna narrow into that. And I'm just gonna gradually kind of subdivide things until I'm happy. We'll give it some nostrils. And it's gonna be that kind of shape. I'm not quite sure I'm gonna make this horizontal, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Okay, so gonna kind of bring it down. And I'm gonna make it bigger, a little bit more compact. Maybe I should have it facing the other way. Give a little bit more room for her head. Okay, so something like that. I might need to make the screen a little bit longer to compensate, but we'll go with this for now. So, what I want... I need to mask off portions now. Okay, where do I want this to sit? Okay. So here we go. We're gonna make it look like she's coming out of it now. And for that... Oops. I need to make a transparency mask. I'm trying to do that more often. It's way more effective than just erasing. Okay. And I'll have to do this a few times. We're going to add it to the top. I don't think the top will ever be hidden, but just in case. And I'll add it to the skirt. And now we'll just get her in there. And I actually think that I don't want anything coming out of the tail. So I'll make that like that too. Oh, there we go. Something like this. Okay. And now I just need to size everything else correctly. Because right now I feel like a little bit more of her body than I want is showing. I think a little bit less of the area below her stomach should be showing. So the rest is basically just going to be compositional stuff. Okay. I'm still thinking about how I want to do that. Okay, I should be able to get away with resizing everything here. Not the head, everything. Okay, shape's locked. I locked the layers I don't want to be affected, so the shape will not change. And then I'm just going to get this to be the size that I want it to be. And I will increase the size of the canvas until she fits. So I don't mind showing, like, the very top of the skirt. There we go. I think that'll be good. And, you know, I can hide my transparency layers, or if I need to see how her legs are moving, for the sake of the pose and whatnot. So, let's go ahead and make this bigger. Can I use the crop tool to make things bigger? I don't think I can. Alright. I wonder if there's a way to resize the canvas by, like, dragging the corners or something. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go look it up real quick. I'm gonna go see if there's a way to do it. Okay. Da-da-da. So it's saying that the crop tool might be able to make it bigger. Let's find out. I don't know, man. I can't do it. At the very least, you can't do it like that. I guess I could shrink the entire thing down. You know, that's actually probably a good idea. Okay. We will... Now that I know the proportion, I think I'm just going to shrink it all down. So I unlocked all those layers that I locked, and now... Gonna... Oh, shoot. I knew that... Okay, it seemed to think that I did crop it, and I did not want to crop it. Okay, let's see if things are fine here, and if there's not, I should be able to go far enough back that nothing's borked. So, it should be okay. Let's find out and see if I just lost a bunch of work. No, I did not. Good. Yay! Not screwed! Hell yeah! Okay. Can I angle it this way without it being awkward? Nah, she looks way better like this. With the top of the bat below the top of her head. It looks way better that way. And I think I might actually rotate Crocodile Friend that she's coming out of just a little bit more to make things seem just a little bit more off balance. But there we go. That looks good, and I'll crop the bottom there. I think that's fine. But the size of this canvas is already quite large, so that's why I didn't want to just make things bigger. If I didn't have to. Or make the size of the canvas bigger if I didn't have to, that is. Do I want it to go that way? The opposite direction she's going? No, no, no. Okay. So, I kind of mumbled a little bit through what I was thinking there, and I'm gonna have to adjust transparency and stuff, it's fine. But the basic idea is that if you don't have things too straight, so like this is roughly a straight line at the top, if it's straight like that, especially near the bottom, it's going to look very balanced and stable, and that's not what I'm going for here. I'd like it to look a little bit more unbalanced, a little bit more unstable, a little bit more dynamic. So I'm tilting it. And, that's it. Just tilting it. And that's all I gotta do here. I don't want it to be at the same angle as her body, though. Because, once again, I think that'll make things look a little bit too stable. So I'm trying to tilt it in such a way that it's going at a slightly different angle. Right now, it's kind of hard to find a good one. That does everything that I want it to do. I don't know, maybe it will be better going this way. That would show a little bit more of her skirt than I would like, but does it look better the other direction? As always, when it comes to composition, trying things is useful. Sometimes it just takes a little bit to figure out the right combination of all the elements. But there we go, I think that's about what I'm looking for here. Crocodile's tail's kind of hanging out there, so I will have to fix that, but I actually don't mind it going behind her arm here. I think it makes it pop out a little bit more. Her arm, that is. So, I think that'll work okay. Actually, I think I want it to be bigger overall, and then I just shrink the tail area. But there we go. I think that looks nice and unbalanced. And I think such things will work. So now I just want to adjust the shape itself a bit. Get it to be a little bit closer to what I want there. We're going to make them a little bit more curled up, a little bit smaller. I'm leaving absolutely no space for an outline. The outline will have to go inside. But that's okay. And now I get to decide what color I want it to be. I think I want it to be red. Yeah, that seems good. And now my transparency masks are all completely wrong, so I'm gonna kill them. They're going to die. There we go. No, not duplicate. Die. Remove. Bank. Okay. But this is also why I wanted to make sure that the skirt was okay. Because if it wasn't, then... Or rather, I wasn't sure how much of it was going to show. And now I have a better idea. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to make sure nothing down there is showing. And I think I'm going to draw it in such a way that the tail still doesn't have anything in it. Why did that do that? Okay, well, that's fine. I'll fix it. Very specific language right there, but it's okay. I was just surprised. Okay. So I think I'm going to forbid stuff from the tail. And I'm just going to draw the skirt such that it doesn't go outside the bounds there. And I think that looks fine. And I think that this will look pretty okay if I give it just a little bit of additional shape. So, like, it'll become a little bit more clear what it is. I think all I really have to do is that. And then maybe put a few little spikes on the tail. Yeah, it's got lots of little spikes. So we'll give him some little spikes. Just little spikes going down the back there. And I think that's about all it needs for it to be recognizable for what it is. Silhouettes are amazing. It's amazing how much information our brain can get from little things like this. Okay, and I'll go ahead and put a quick and dirty line through it all. Just to make sure that I have this all looking roughly correct. I'm not gonna draw all this yet, though. But there we go. I have now roughly shifted the pose and composition to something sensible here. And I think it looks way better than whatever I was trying to do before. I do. I think red will probably be fine there. I need to make a lot of adjustments to a lot of different things. And it is a little bit sad. But, you know, it's for the best. Okay. So I'm gonna start getting some of her other little features on there. So we're gonna have an armband going over the arm. So that'll be like right here. I'll let it kind of do stuff like this. It's a little bit higher up than it is on her actual design, but I don't want it to overlap with this ribbon here. So, small deviation. I think it's okay. And I'll go ahead and plop in the cuffs of her sleeves as well. I don't feel like making 2 layers, so I'll just do them here. So one's gonna be like that. Once again, I think I actually want it to kind of come upward, because that's kind of the shape of the arm. And then the other one is gonna be like right here. I think I actually need to move that elbow. I should do that first. Okay, and then I want to make sure that I do not touch the transparency masks ever, so I'm going to lock them entirely. I am forbidden from moving them now, and that should let me freely move things around. Oh, are you not on the body layer? Oh, that's right, you're not. You're over here. Okay. But yeah, I do think that this now has all the power that I want it to have. Like, she's supposed to look a little bit cute, right? She wouldn't be herself if she wasn't a little bit cute. So I do think that's important. But I feel like there's a lot of power coming in the swing, and that it's not just looking like a, you know, ooh, ooh, it's so cute pose. And that's what mattered here. So yeah, I think it's nice and safe to be starting to add these things now. I'm not going to go into detail on any of them. I just want to get the basics. All right. And because I drew it like that, I can just recolor the arm and I don't have to do anything weird. I can just do it all on the same layer. I do not have to make separate layers for the sleeves or anything. I can just do it all in the same place. It's great. Okay. All right. I actually think that's like most of the elements here. I guess I can put a little bit... I don't even think this needs its own layer. I'm just gonna put the little green part from the belt right there just to show that it exists. But I think that's about all I need there. So on the hands, she has gloves. They are black, it looks like. I forget. On my old version, did I make them black or did I make them brown? I want to use the same color. I made them brown. Okay. I will use brown then. I kind of already made the decision back there, so I didn't really feel the need to do it again. Let's see, fingerless. Which way are her fingers going there? So probably something like this. The rest is finger. And then on the bottom one, most of it is not finger. So down into it like that, and then I can just draw the rest of them. Let me find a good reference here. Okay. What color is the cuffs? Are they brown as well? Or are they... Okay, they are brown as well. I wasn't sure if they were green. But I think I will just do that directly on my arm layer. We'll just plop the little cuff there. And then I think this gives me a pretty good idea of how things are going to go. I'm just saying if I think it needs anything else. But I don't really feel like adding the lines that are going to go around everything right now. I think the balance of everything is fine. I don't think I'm going to put the various patterns on things right now. I think I'm just going to leave it there, and I'll see kind of how I feel about things next week. But yeah, I think I like this a lot better than the one that I was going for before, and I still think it has a reasonable energy. I think it's a lot better. So I still got some time, but I think that's as far as I'm going to go on the picture for today. I want to make sure that all my proportions are good before I go back into fixing the face. But, you know what? I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think the movement is strong. I think that just how things are pointed is good. I was considering whether or not I wanted to lower the bat a little bit more, but I think it's okay. I think I might actually rotate the head a little bit. Let's see. So I'll do some of the final compositional things. But you know, it's okay. Art streams tend to be Zatsudan with extra steps, so I don't mind just transitioning to raw Zatsu here. Oh, I just realized I didn't put the line around there. Oh, that's fine. It might be a little bit awkward through here, but I'm pretty sure I can make it work. It'll be fine. I'm still in one of those states where there's so many things I want to do. But time is not on my side. There's not enough time to do everything, and I'm always a little bit sad. But because I've been thinking about things that I want to do off stream, things that I want to learn, things that I think are cool, and just anything. And I do think I want to dick around with rigging some more. Probably Live 2D over Inochi 2D for now. Because I have things that I think will be interesting to try. Actually, I'm looking at the coloring here. This red might be too strong. Let's try some other colors. Oh yeah, Live 2D is one of them. Oh, and good news. I find it plausible that I might be able to start streaming Godot soon. And my husband and I have had a game idea that we've done quite a lot of work on. And we're ready to make a proof of concept and kind of see how it all plays out and all that. And I've been trying to learn Godot to the point that I feel comfortable trying to do it live. I'm confident in my programming ability, but Godot and game engines are a whole new world. I'm grateful for it, though, because it means I don't have to do all the collision detection myself. So, I've been looking into how all that works, and I think I've got enough of a handle that I will only have to spend maybe half the time in the docks, so that's probably enough to get started. So, I do want to start doing that. I'd like to do just more general illustrations and stuff. Oh man, you know, choices are always so hard. It is. Okay, let's try. Now that I've gotten a feel for that color, I'll try a green. You know, green even makes it look more crocodile-like. Let's try all the colors, except brown. I don't think I want to use brown. There's too much brown over here already. But the good news is now that I have it all in my history, I can just scroll through them and see how it changes the picture. I think the lighter green is the way to go. Okay. So I think that's the one that looks the best. Red was my first thought, but nah, it was a little bit too strong. The red needs to be a little bit more sparing. Okay. Yeah. I think I can be happy with how things are. Just kind of organizing my thoughts here, because today was kind of a weird episode. Since I was technically really far along and I was just getting ready to render the whole thing, but I just did not like the way that it was coming out, so I was like, you know, we gotta do something a little different. It is, unfortunately, necessary. I've decided that her head is a little bit big. Her neck is a little bit off here, but it's all right. I'll fix it. And I think I want to raise her shoulder just a little bit more too. You know, as always, if you leave me staring at something for long enough, I will find lots of problems with it. It's all good. I don't think it's a terrible way to be here. And, you know, I'll just keep poking at it while I talk about things. Because I've had... well, I haven't been able to think very well for the past week or so, but I've still been trying to think about things a little bit. Doing my best while I'm sick. Of just, you know, things I'd like to do. Places I'd like to go artistically and all that. So I talked about a couple of it, Live 2D and animation, and I still wanted to be drawn some illustrations and stuff, and it's always so hard to pick exactly what I want to do. There are so many interesting things in the world, and narrowing it down to what I have time for is just always so rough. But yeah, it's like, I do feel like I have made enough progress with Godot that I can just... that I can stream it. I think I'm actually pretty good there now. So, you might see those in the coming weeks. Probably not this month, but I hope to get started in March. I don't want to do it while I'm sick is the thing, so I'll definitely be getting better first. And, you know, I want to try, maybe do some unfinished images It sounds weird, but I've always had a bit of a fixation on finishing anything I start. So I think it's probably healthy for me to do more sketchbook-style things, especially while I'm trying to figure out how I want to actually go about constructing things. I'd like to operate a little bit less on vibes. I think vibes definitely have their place. I will definitely not be giving them up. But I think once I have the general pose, general gesture, and whatnot down, I think it would be really helpful to actually be able to construct what I want to see, and then maybe I'll have an easier time just putting things together. And there are certain parts of my art that I just feel like look a little bit weird still, in ways that are a little bit hard to describe. I guess I should anyway, but basically I feel like things are perhaps a little bit nebulous. A little bit more nebulous than I'd like. And I think the only way to get over that is to be a little bit more confident in actually putting stuff together. Just a little. Because, you know, right now I'm just kind of faking it. I don't necessarily know if a particular thing has to go there. I just look at it and I'm just like, does this look right? Yes, no. And if no, I'm just like, well, shoot, let's try again. I don't necessarily know how. I've kind of managed to work my way through just on raw experience, I guess. But I think that just having a little bit more of a solid foundation for things will not only let me go a little bit faster, but will also make things look better overall. You know what? Let's go look at the internet, because there was a guy, an artist that I was rather enjoying, and you know what? This seems like a perfect time to talk about art. Let me put my tablet down. There we go. Okay. So, let me pull up my browser here, and I will pull up this guy. Let's see, what was his name? It's written in hiragana. Manode Marina. I'll go with that. Manode Marina. On Pixiv. I found this guy the other day, and I am in love. So here we go. This is his Pixiv. So, yeah, I mean, if you've seen some of the stuff I draw, you can probably see why I'm in love. I really, really... Oh man, I just love stuff like this. And I just think it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's amazing just how simple yet how expressive it all is. It's like, look at all that. It's so nice. I've drawn a few things like this before, but frankly, I think he does most of it better. And then I looked at this one in particular. Let's go get the full version here. Oh, it wants me to log in. Okay, give me just a sec here. I'm gonna hide, oops. Gotta hide that for a second while I log in. Give me just a moment. Where is login? Here we are. Oh shoot, what's my password? Probably. Okay, there we go. Go, turn it back on, and alright. So now we can make it big. And you know what? It's always worth making it big. You gotta view art the right way. Otherwise, it's just sad. In fact, I'm gonna go step over here so I can see a little bit more here. Okay. So yeah. It's like, look at this, just remaining hollow myth. It's so nice. And one of the things that really stuck out to me is that despite how simple it all is, and look how little shading there is on Callie's face here. There's a little bit more on Ina's, but on the other two, there is almost nothing. And yet you can still see how these heads are rotated. Even without any particular shading showing a three-dimensionality. And on the clothes, there's a little bit showing the three-dimensionalness of it, but for the most part, it's just very interesting looking shapes. So like here, I think on a real person, this highlight wouldn't necessarily be there, but man, does it look cool. And then, you know, on the back here, this is all much lighter than stuff here, but the shapes on it are just so strong that you can tell what's happening, and you can see that he does similar things with his proportions that I like to do to show things coming forward. Like look at her hand here. You can tell that this hand is coming forward because it is so much larger than the arm here. And you can see just a little bit of the inside of the sleeve, so you know that it's pointing right at us. And this is all done with just very little information, very little shading. So you can see there's a little bit of shading right here, and frankly, on Ina's dress, that's almost it. Just a little bit right there. And I guess there's a little bit back here too, but the rest, no shading here. Just the one line. And yet it's all still so clear. You can see exactly how things are turned just because of how it's constructed. And that just really, really stood out to me anytime I looked at anything that this guy drew. And it's not like he never uses shadings. Like if we look at Kiara's fingers here, these two are going further back because they're darker. But for the most part, you know, it's all just one solid color. And I think it's really cool. And some of the color variation, like you can see there's some sparkles kind of going along the hair here, are more for the sake of style and coolness than anything else. Although, you know, the top of her head here is a bit lighter, which... common thing. But yes, okay, I'm gonna back up for a second here. Let me see. Can I get back to this guy easy? Okay, we can. Cool. Alright. Let me see. What was another one that kind of stood out to me? Yeah, this was the one that let me find him. He was in the picks of rankings. I go through that religiously, the daily and weekly rankings, because, oh man, you can find some really rad stuff in there. And this was the one that made the rankings, and I can see why. It is fabulous. I like it a lot. And once again, no shading in the head, but you know exactly how it's turned. You can feel the three-dimensionality despite that, just due to how the nose and the eyes are placed mostly, I think. And it's stuff like this that just makes me think, if I could just construct things just a little bit better, a little bit more solidly, instead of being as wishy-washy as I currently feel like I am, I think that everything that I do would just be a lot stronger. So I'll be studying this guy, because I mean, shapes are beautiful. Look at the arm here, just... you can read it so clearly, despite there just being very little to it. And the general shape of the body going down here, it's like, oh man. I like it a lot. And pretty much everything he does is very consistently like this. This was the one that I was looking at yesterday when I was just looking at things that he did, because he's doing a bunch of things that I used to do with some of my minimalist stuff, of just, you know, you have a background, and then you use the same color as the background in various places. Sometimes instead of shadows, like here, this looks like it's not exactly a shadow, but kind of. So there, and then we get this. I can't tell if this is a shadow or if the dress here is orange, and I think it's cool. I don't think it has to be super clear, and whether this is a boob window or just part of the dress, I think it looks really awesome either way. Little buttons that are the same color, and everything just kind of gets lost. And I just love the way it looks. That's why I say, you don't have to be accurate. Being cool is way more important. At least for how I view things. But this is why I draw anime and not realism. So there you go. You get to see another artist that I think is really cool. While I'm here, let's go pull up another one, because I have another one open that I'd like to study at some point. And, this guy is super weird, and I love it. Oh, we'll pull this guy up, too. Okay. Look at some of these things. I mean, this is wild. So wild. Got just the hardcore jellyfish energy. Jellyfish are fantastic, by the way. I love jellyfish. And just everything is melting into each other. Yeah, some of the abstract shapes that he uses for shading and stuff. Let me see. What was one that I thought was particularly cool? Yeah. Look at that. Just the juxtaposition between that hat, and yet we recognize it as a hat, and yet it's nothing. It's negative space, literally. And then just this big red shape that's supposed to be the backside of the hat, and yet it's so obvious that's what it's supposed to be, even though it's all just negative shapes. And the way this dress just flows into itself. So cool! I wish I was this cool. I got a cough. The phlegm will never leave me. Okay. Oh man, but it's so cool! And, this guy's another one that just uses raw, cool shapes to just make things look really cool. And I cannot stop saying cool because it's so cool. Oh man. But just the movement and the energy of it all, of the way this hair swishes all around, and then it's just immediately counterbalanced by this red thing coming around, and the sword going down. So whoosh, whoosh, very rad. And to an extent, it kind of continues up into the hat, goes up like that, just the exact opposite with the red shapes just swirling down, and then the hair shape just going the other way, making this double helix kind of shape. It's really interesting. And you can tell that the hat being just non-existent negative space, very deliberate, because he could have done a similar thing with their skin and the dress here, but he didn't. There's a line here. The dress does not fade into the background like the hat does. And even to an extent, the arm doesn't either. The arm doesn't have the top line here, but due to the gold flecks standing on top, we can still see the edge. Whereas the hat is just completely gone. Oh man. So cool. Let me see, what was another one that I thought was really cool? Yeah. One that's a little bit more representational. Quite an interpretation of a witch. Or once again, we got a hat that's kind of getting lost here, but then it's just turning into this eldritch horror over here. And she has such an innocent smile on her face. The contrast there, I think, is fantastic. Seems like a very trustworthy lady. I'd be very afraid to walk into her house. And I think it's just so cool how you can express those things so easily with just the contrast between this serene expression with the eyeballs coming out on the bit of her the bit of her face that's covered up by hair. And then we get this shape here. It's like, is this hair or is this something weird coming out of her arm? Who knows? Are these flowers or are they eyes? Who knows? Oh, sure. You know what? Let's go through the rankings today. We'll just head on over there. I looked yesterday, so the daily rankings are probably going to be stuff that I've seen. Let me see. Illustrations. I like this one. This one's nice. This one's kind of neat too. I like the way the hair swirls, and typically the way I'd go through them is if there's some that just really catch my eye, I open them in a new tab so that this way... I'm surprised this is counted as an illustration. Anyway, but I open them in a new tab so that this way I can zoom in on them. This one's cute. This girl looks so distressed. It's so sad. Ooh. Posing on this one's interesting. I want to look at that. And most of them I like some way or another. But, there tends to only be a few that really catches my eye. Hey, I want to look at those clothes. Ooh. Kind of... I wonder if this looks, as stained glass adjacent as it does... as it does, in this thumbnail, when I zoom in. Huh. So yeah, I'll regularly just, scroll through these and try to pick out ones I like and try to understand why. Oh, this one's weird. I can dig it. Just understand why they stand out to me in particular. Let's be real, when you get into the rankings like this, your drawing is probably pretty good. I don't think there's been a single one that I've, actively disliked. Oh my. That one's cool. Okay, and it goes beyond 100, but I always like to stop at 100. So let's go take a look at the ones that I opened up. Yeah. This one's kind of a simple one, but for this one, I just kind of liked the soft colors. I liked the way that her hands and face were lit, and then the nice little colors in the back there. Very pretty. And here, it was mostly about the angle and posing, which I thought was cool, because you can see that none of the pose is hidden, because the skirt is so translucent, so you can see her arm and her legs through it all. And I thought that was pretty interesting. This would be one that might be fun to break down and figure out how the body is actually moving there. So it looks like it goes back there. I'm not quite sure where this leg goes, because it looks like one leg is kind of going up there, but it doesn't quite match up with either of them. But nonetheless, so very interesting, and the lighting of the skirt I think is very pretty. Always makes me wish I could actually read some of this. I am Japanese not quite good enough. I would have to use heavy use of translator. Yeah, and here I was curious to see the... Oops. Oh, there's more than one. Yeah, I wanted to see the clothes up close. Just wanted to take a look at how they were put together and shaded. the shading on it is actually very, very soft and very minimal. It looks far more complex when you zoom out. But once you get in there, it's actually quite straightforward. Just a couple of simple shadow shapes. This is all basically shadow. And with those shadows contrasting so heavily against her face, it really does bring out her face, and you get another big shadow up there. Kinda making her face look very bright. Yeah, I like them. They're very cute. Let's go scroll through all of them. How many are there? I don't actually know that you could make series like this. I should actually learn how to use Pixiv sometime. Man, there are a lot of them, and the costume design on all of them are all really nice. Oh man, we even get some kind of design sheets. I wonder what this is for, because there are so many. Entire little cast here. Alright. Yeah, and here I kind of liked how stained glass it all looked. Sure, let's look at them individually. Yeah, it really does look very, very stained glass. So I can see that there's like soft hatching for the shadows here. So it makes the shadows on it very soft. You know me, I like my hardcore contrast, but I appreciate softer drawings like this. I think they're very lovely. And I'm just trying to pick out exactly what makes me feel very stained glass about it. And I think it's just, the shadows are blocked in very carefully and often have little, you know, the little lines going around them. And the line work on it is very particular, and it's using the lines to show all the movement in the hair, for example. And like through here, you can see that the hair kind of goes that way. Or no, those are earrings. Tassels on the earrings. So I think that's kind of what made it feel kind of stained glass to me, of just the very meticulous line work. Showing how all the things are moving. As opposed to using shadows to do the same thing. Yeah, very pretty. I like it a lot. Tower of Heaven, huh? It's quite a large picture. This one's kind of another interesting, contrasting one, that we got this big piece of futuristic technology with just this barren landscape and these really ominous clouds. A very atmospheric drawing. I like it a lot. Look how spooky those clouds are. Those clouds are fantastic. Let's go look at them. Wonderful. Yeah, and this one is super simple, but very striking. I didn't even notice the red in her hands on the thumbnail version. Well, there you go. Art is still cool. I enjoy it a lot. So you know what? I was happy to talk about it today. But there you go. That's something I do on a fairly regular basis. I like to go look at the Pixiv rankings and just see what's out there. Pretty great. You find so much cool stuff there, and oh man. I so look forward to stealing all this guy's secrets. I might even do a particular stream where I study it very in-depth and draw my own. In kind of a similar way. Because, oh man, is it so pretty. I love stuff like this. So nice. And if we go back to the other guy, this guy's stuff is just wild. BV. I can actually read that one. Hooray for English letters. But I think what this guy does is really cool. I mean, this is crazy, man. So many just very interesting shapes. I like it a lot. But I suppose I'll bounce back into Krita here. Let's go back. And I think that's probably about where I will stop for today. Oh, that was fun. See, I don't have to worry about spending the entire time drawing things anymore. There's just too many cool things in the world. I can always find something cool to talk about. Art is awesome. So, I hope that was as enjoyable for you as it was for me. But I think I will stop there for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. And thank you, Trag. I hope you have a wonderful day, too. I guess I won't see you all tomorrow. I'll see you Friday, probably. Yeah. Friday for Copy Kitty. Let's do it. Regardless, I hope to see you then. Bye-bye.